Hello, dear friends. Here we are, Drops of Light, day 16. This day 16, it's about Notes of Light. In this book, titled in Portuguese, the original version, it's Gotas de Luz. The spirit author is Casimiro Cunha, and Xavier, the medium, brought to us these teachings. You may be asking why spirit is poetry. I agree with you. Throughout these 160 years of spiritist studies, we've had poetry since Kardec's time. If you read the Spiritist magazine at Kardec's time, you see that several spirits brought spiritist poetry to us. But you know, we rarely pay attention to spiritist poetry. And when the medium Xavier got his first mediumistic book published, Parnaso de Além Túmulo, several poets wrote to us a compilation of spiritist poetry that changed humanity's history forever. And I say changed because that was a new moment in the history of humankind. One medium, several poets, great minds, different styles, and a unique message. It was the first time that on the earth, a group of missionary poets was allowed to bring to the earth a poetry that would consciously change our lives. And yet, many years went by, different poetry came by from different mediums, and we rarely give room to the spiritist poetry in our lives. And why not? What is this spiritist poetry for? Many people think it's just to delight the senses, but this is not any type of poetry. The spiritist poetry has a therapeutic component. As Leon Denis says in the book Espiritismo na Arte, or Spiritism in the Arts, the spiritist poetry comes as a form of music, under the laws of rhythm, vibration, to change the way we think, to change the way we feel, and boost our progress, especially our ethical moral progress. So more than delighting the senses, spiritist poetry comes to us to deepen our consciousness and to awake our feelings. Do you remember when Nicodemus, one of the greatest Pharisees and scholars, doctors of the law at Jesus' time, he approached Jesus and said, I've studied the scriptures my whole life, and we've been searching the kingdom of God, and yet I don't know exactly where it is. But since you are the Messiah, can you tell me what it is, where it is? And the answer is fascinating, because Jesus kindly with a smile says, Nicodemus, it's not enough to know it. You forgot to feel the scriptures. 2,000 years went by and we're still forgetting to feel. We are. Because even in our spiritist movement, we are mesmerized by knowledge. But when we finish those moments of acquisition of knowledge, we repeat the same old conditionings. We say, you know, it's so hard to change. Well, we're missing the trick, the big leap feeling. We need to feel the scripture. We need to awaken our emotions. We need to open our hearts. The message of the Promised Consoler is all about love. Thank God Jesus didn't become a doctor of the law. Thank God he didn't have any material resources. Thank God he modeled the supreme law of all, love. My friends, today Casimiro Cunha, as a poet that missionarily is bringing to us more resources to feel the scriptures, so we can condition ourselves in this track of life. He's gonna bring notes of wisdom, which in the book, the printout book, is chapter 29. Okay, I'm gonna read the Portuguese and then the English. Today it's only 10 stanzas, and through the verses of each stanza we're gonna see unforgettable awakening of our feelings, because the knowledge is just one facet of it. The Spirit is poetry. Bring us the feeling through rhythms. We're changing. We're vibrational beings. We need a stimulation to change our vibratory tone. Think about this. When Kardec asked the spirits, what is spirit? The illuminated spirits answered, for lack of words in your vocabulary, we're gonna say that it's like a flame. A flame is a vibrating being. You vibrate, I vibrate. So if we want to take a new vibratory tone, we need a new vibration, new rhythm. Like a guitar or a piano, any instrument, if you want to calibrate it, you use different tones and vibrations to synchronize. Spirit is poetry becomes a synchronizing mechanism for our vibrational beings. It's about feeling what we know, because we know, but we need to feel it. Ready to feel it tonight or today, depending on where you are. So let's say hi to the beautiful group that is connected, forming this beautiful current of light. And I know many are going to watch or listen to us later. That's okay. We love you, and we don't say it without meaning it. You're a child of God. We are too, and we wish you the very best. Our beautiful Xavier is here with us. Thank you, Leia. Let's not forget, Leia committed herself spontaneously. How unexpected that was when she said that she could and she will catalog all the books that you're donating to the Centenary Spiritist Center in Brazil. It's not by chance that this is happening right now, but we don't have centenary centers all over the world. There are some, not many, and we ask why those kept themselves open, not others. Only God knows. What we know, we owe to them a great deal, and I especially do because it comes from my family. And I owe to them, otherwise I wouldn't be here. And we're inviting you to join forces. Send your Spiritist books in Portuguese to us at Kardec Radio. But if you're in Brazil, we have 11 posts of collection in Brazil, in different cities, different states. If you want to donate money, that's okay too. But contact us at Kardec Radio if you have questions and donate, okay? Thank you, Leia. Hello, Solange. How are you? Thank you for your beautiful energy. And Joyce Magalhães. How are you, Joyce? Beautiful works that you guys are doing there at Toronto Spiritist Society in Canada. Teresa Catapano. How are you, my friend? Rihanna. How are you, Rihanna? Big hug to you and our beautiful South Africa. I can see our bridge of collaboration, of friendship between the United States, the world, and South Africa. Right, shall we? Yes. Neto, hello. How are you? Thank you. About portalpensar.org. Okay, for those who speak Portuguese. Sunshine, beautiful sunshine. Thank you. You donated the most precious book of all. Good news in Portuguese. Thank you, thank you. We're deeply touched. I talked to my grandmother, who is the president of the center, and then she said, she's Divaldo's age, and she said, you know, she doesn't believe that somebody in the United States, though doesn't speak Portuguese, bought the book and donated for the library. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Andrea Torres, how are you, Andrea? I'm happy to see you here. Sylvia, how are you, Sylvia? Big hug to you, okay? Ubiratã, Sevilla, thank you for your presence and for your kindness. Thank you, my friend. Ceissa, beautiful Ceissa. Leonor Pacheco, the group, the Yes group. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our dear Angelita is in Madagascar, and she's doing great works in the Fraternity Without Borders. So that's an organization you can help. fraternitywithoutborders.org. You're helping children. I'll never forget when I saw this video. They have this little, it's like a tiny, it's not a house. I don't even have a name for it. A woman and 6 children living in a space that is so tiny. And I become very emotional to know, moved, that the Fraternity Without Borders found them. We need to feel what these people feel, friends. When, as Leon Denis says in the book After Death, when we eat, we need to think of those who don't eat. When we buy something, we need to think of those who cannot have it. When we come to the comfort of our homes, think about those who don't have homes. We need to be proactive. We need to help. Whatever you can do. fraternitywithoutborders.org, okay? Antonio Henrique, how are you? And Rudy, present, always present. Thank you, Sunshine. My mom was also deeply moved, and many other people. So, you know, you know more about the story of that center and how it helped many people who had mental illnesses before pharmaceutical companies had their pharmacotropics, and there was no hope for people who were obsessed or considered mad. They were brought in from all over Brazil, and they had on the back of the center, because it's a large center, it's almost like a whole quarter in a neighborhood. They had, and they still do, but it doesn't function that way anymore, cells, little rooms, but they were locked. They would keep the person there, feed them, and in the Spirit Center, in front of it, they would do these obsession meetings, talking to the obsessors, convincing them to give up their revenge plans. And I remember several family members who participated in that. My grandmother, grandfather, her brothers, the cases after cases that were helped through that center. So we owe a great deal to that center. It's not only the family, it's the whole Brazil. Okay? Karina Liss is here, and Karina is doing beautiful work. She said she collected so many books that they don't fit in the trunk of a car. So she found a friend who is going to transport it to the center. Unbelievable. And we're just beginning the campaign, and it's not enough. The library in that center is going to be a reference for the centers in the other cities, the region, because it's not easy to buy books, especially in the economical crisis in Brazil. Did I speak too much? Probably, right? Ready? Ready for the feeling of the knowledge tonight? Michele. Ready, friends? I'm going to begin it, okay? As you know, I'm going to read it in English. And I ask your permission because when we read it twice, it's gonna sink in better. Feel it first, and then let's think through it together. Shall we? Is that okay? We're gonna feel it together right now. Ori, how are you? Where are you coming from, my friend? Can you share with us just so we know? It's the first time we see you here. Michelle is ready, and me too, as soon as I accomplish this task of sharing with friends. Chapter 29 of the book Gotas de Luz. Lembranças. Procura com teu suor o pão, a veste e o abrigo. Todo homem preguiçoso é sempre irmão do mendigo. Penetra a realidade cada dia, cada instante. Um desengano oportuno é benefício importante. Nunca te esqueças na luta se o mal te punge e ameaça, que o coração bom e puro é sempre a melhor couraça. Guarda prudência ao lenir as chagas de teu irmão. O reconforto indiscreto irrita a grande aflição. Sê bondoso para todos, qualquer ajuda é valia, conquistando em teu favor a graça da simpatia. Entre as víboras da astúcia, não te deixes enganar, consciência que se vende não vale a pena comprar. Se vives de mente em fogo, perguntando, perdoa, ajuda e esclarece, e viverás acertando. Para o despeito infeliz, triste monstro envenenado, toda alegria é doença, todo êxito é pecado. Não te afastes da amargura, toda fuga é imprópria e vã. A luta guardada hoje é triste guerra amanhã. 10 stanzas. Beautiful. And it's all about notes of light. Now in English. Through your sweat, seek the bread, the clothing, and the shelter. Every lazy person is always the brother of the beggar. Unravel reality, every day, every moment. A timely disappointment is an important benefit. In the struggle, never forget that evil afflicts and threatens you. Your good heart and pure heart is always your best armor. Be prudent when you soothe your brother's wounds. The discreet relief aggravates the great affliction. The indiscreet relief aggravates the great affliction. Be kind to all. Any help is worthy, conquering in your favor the grace of sympathy. Among the vipers of cunning, don't be deceived. Consciousness for sale is not worth buying. If you live with your mind on fire, asking and asking, forgive, help, and clarify, and you live righteously. For the unhappy spite, sad poisoned monster, any joy is sickness, any success is sin. Do not withdraw from bitterness. Each escape is improper and vain. The fight avoided today is a sad war tomorrow. Talking about war, huh? Yes, yes, yes. Where do we begin? Feeling it. Did you feel it? Let's observe where it touched. Any particular point in your heart? Let's observe it. It's very interesting because apparently when you read this poetry, even in the original language, the first feeling is that they speak all the same, but they don't. When we go deeper and analyze with our reasoning and our open hearts, we're going to observe that these are true drops of light. And you know, when light reaches our heart, we can only vibrate higher. He begins by talking about the combination, work and laziness. He says that we should work for what we need. Don't take shortcuts. Many people take shortcuts and they're going to regret later. They're like, you know, why am I going to work this hard if I can take this shortcut? But the shortcut is clandestine. And anything that is clandestine against the law is not vibrating in harmony with life. For example, I'm going to give an example that is very common to immigrants. When we have our professions in other countries, degrees, you move to another country, you have almost to start over through certifications, etc. And many people, they take shortcuts, even sometimes creating clandestine practices. It's very common. I've come to know over the years, I've been 20 years in the United States, and I've come to know of many. I don't judge, but I see the dramas on the behind the scene. The people never sleep happily. Even if they justify what they are doing, they can't sleep well. So André Luiz, on the first chapter of the book Among Brothers of Other Lands, Entre Irmãos de Outras Terras in Portuguese, he shares to us in the first chapter that we should follow the law and avoid any clandestine type of work. Food for thought, my friends. And he says here even more, the lazy person is always the brother of the beggar. So work is always worthwhile. Some people are like, but that's hard work. Rejoice that you can work hard, because there are people in the hospitals, in prisons, or disabled that would really do everything to be in your position and have that single opportunity to work that hard. Let's value the possibility of working hard, because in the eyes of God, we'll never be stupid by working hard. Okay? So the second stanza, he talks about something quite unique that even in Spiritism we barely talk about. He says, unravel reality every day and every moment. A timely disappointment is an important benefit. What is Casimiro Cunha sharing with us? Remember, he was blind in that reincarnation, but he became a spiritist and a writer, and he continued in the afterlife. So he knows what he's talking about, and these verses that he brings to us are not something that comes from his mind. It's this universal wisdom. So the universal wisdom here is saying a timely disappointment becomes a benefit. What is it? We need to read the signs of life. You know, when you pay attention to life, and it's like a puzzle, you put the pieces together, you're planning something and something else happens, and you're disappointed, but it's a blessing in disguise. That's what he's saying. It's a blessing in disguise, preventing us from incurring in problems, mistakes, traps, abysses that we don't even know. So next time a disappointment reaches us, let us rejoice, okay? Let us rejoice, because it's God's protection in our lives. Now he says something that is regarding persecutions, afflictions, evil, ignorance. He says the best shielding system is our good and pure heart. In the struggle, never forget that if evil afflicts and threatens you, your good and pure heart is always your best shield. So many people get so afflicted when they are impacted by evil. And we forget that deep inside, if I raise my vibration, I'll be shielded. Evil cannot achieve us if we don't become evil ourselves. The evil that others do, as Divaldo Franco repeats to us always, they don't actually reach us, but the evil that we do is with us. Right? Right, Tanya. Big hug to you, my friend, and Greg, and your beautiful daughter, and everyone there, okay? Hello, Rose. How are you? Now, in the other note of light tonight, he says to us that when we are helping people, let's listen to the stanza and these verses, and then we're going to break it down. Be prudent when you soothe your brother's wounds. The indiscreet relief aggravates the great affliction. How many people, when they are helping other people, they become entangled in the emotional life of the person, or thinking that they need to know deeper, and they go deeper and deeper and deeper. And at the end of it all, greater affliction comes by. We need to learn with Jesus. He's our model. He helps without interfering, without being contaminated by the emotions. How can we do this? Not complicated at all. That person's a child of God as much as I am. I'm empathetic, I'm giving a hand, but I'm not gonna do what the person wants. I'll bring the relief, and then I continue in my own vibratory state, thinking high, feeling high, and giving, reaching out, but do not bring the person or her problems into yourself. Right? Paula Andrade, so true. And Michelle is saying prayer is our shield. Exactly. Be kind to all. He's reminding us, it's a note of light. Be kind to all, not only to those who are convenient to us. And he's reminding us, yes, there are people who are cunning, but do not be deceived. He's reminding us that if you have a restless mind, forgive always, help, clarify to live righteously. And if people have that type of envy or spite, they're only gonna feel that joy is sick, that the success of others is always some form of a sin. Hopefully not us, huh? Can you appreciate the joy of others? Otherwise, we're gonna incur in the vibration of spite. Finally, he wraps up, always his poetry has a final verse that is so vibrationally high that kind of summarizes it all. In the Notes of Light, Casimiro Cunha finalizes by saying, do not withdraw from bitterness. Each escape is improper and vain. The fight avoided today is sad war tomorrow. What is he saying? We need to have the courage. As Jesus said to Bartholomew, Bartholomew, the trademark of the Christian, those who follow the good news, joy, hope, and courage, the courage to face our difficulties, our problems. Do not drink alcohol to escape from it. It's vain. And the battle that we escape today is gonna be war tomorrow. Are we escaping anything? You may be asking, Vanessa, what's the homework for the next 24 hours? Our homework is to observe how we're feeling these notes of light. Let's observe in this range of being dutiful to helping others without losing ourselves, and having the courage to see our issues, the bitterness, with joy and hope. So let's practice the affirmation to wrap it up, shall we? Put your hand on your chest so you feel the vibration. Exercises, and tell yourself, I can face my issues. I can face my issues. I can face my issues. God provides all that I need. 2 more times. God provides for all that I need. God provides for all that I need. Right, Karina? You're beautiful, so studious, not afraid of working hard. My friends, we wish you a beautiful day. A day of discoveries and a day of true love in action. And until tomorrow, God willing, with more drops of light.